Hello everyone and welcome to a brand new episode of Sports Insight with your host Alamdar Khan. And yes, not to forget that Sports Insight is all about sports from all across the globe. You can surely reach us on our social media handle, which is at the rate of Indus News Sports. That works for the Instagram page and the Twitter page. But anyways, what we'll do is we'll go to the headlines first. Yes, from the world of Premier League, Manchester City actually managed to beat Everton 3-1 on Wednesday. Yes, from the world of golf, 2021 Genesis Invitational is on the way and will start from the 18th till the 21st of February. And from the world of Australian Open, yes, that's an interesting thing. A major turn of events for Serena Williams as Osaka manages to beat her on Australia Open on Thursday. And from the world of NBA, yes, Brooklyn Nets actually managed to win against the Phoenix Suns 128-124. And yes, those were the headlines, and definitely we'll be talking about different stories that we've talked about in the headlines. And to begin with, we'll surely talk about the football and we'll talk about the English Premier League. There's been major upset situations that have actually happened lately. But to discuss all this, we have with us Azad Bukhari all the way from the UK. So Azad, thank you for joining us, sir.
Thank you for inviting me.
Pleasure. Sir, we'll talk about, obviously, Premier League. We'll start with that. Let's talk about Manchester City that actually managed to beat Everton 3-1 on Wednesday. Not to forget that, they're topping the charts and obviously they've won their 14 previous matches. So how do you see things developing? Because I think right now they're on top. We'll surely start your point of view and analysis about the Manchester City and then we'll further go ahead.
I think with Manchester City, what has happened is they're now 10 points ahead of anybody else in the league. The kind of season we've had with only 14 games to go, I can't see any other team catching Manchester City now. So I think one thing that we can safely suggest is that Manchester City will win in English Premier League this season. Okay. In the beginning of the season, the worry was that Sergio Aguero, their main striker, was injured. He's been out. They didn't have a main striker to play with. Gabriel Jesus has been a bit of a disappointment since he's been bought. I think one of their midfielders, Ilkay Gundogan, the Turkish-born German midfielder, he's upped his game a lot and he's getting into the box, he's scoring a lot of goals. And that's a new way of playing with Pep Guardiola, which essentially suggests that he's probably the best manager of this generation after Sir Alex and Arsene Wenger and people like that. I can't see Manchester City losing the top title from here, and I can't see any other team in Premier League catching them as well. Nobody's good enough to catch them at the moment.
Right. If we look at the Premier League standings for now, obviously they're on top. On the second, currently is Manchester United, so we can maybe talk more about Manchester United as well, because a lot of people in Pakistan definitely, as we discussed earlier, a lot of fans of Manchester United in the country, and obviously I know internationally as well. So how do you see Manchester United? Obviously, as you said, that nobody's going to catch up because it's technically very hard for anybody to catch up right now. But how do you see their performance so far?
I mean, one of the biggest problems Manchester United has is their manager. If you look at it, if Pep Guardiola leaves Manchester City today, probably every big club in the world will offer him a job.
Right.
Same goes for the manager in Liverpool or other football clubs. If Ole Gunnar Solskjaer leaves his job tomorrow from Manchester United, I don't even think he'll get another job elsewhere. He's only in Manchester United because he used to play for them. The other major issue that they're having is that at the moment Paul Pogba is injured.
Right.
The resurgence of Manchester United this season was based on how good he was playing.
True.
And he's not going to play for the next 3, 4, 5 games, and they're likely to drop a lot of points in those games. And Paul Pogba is not happy in Manchester United anyway, so he'll probably leaving at the end of the season. I don't see Manchester United, they'll probably finish in the top 4. I don't see them challenging for the league this season, but I don't see them challenging for the league next season as well. Unless Manchester United changes their manager, they're not going anywhere.
Right. But anyways, Manchester City is still on the top with definitely 14 points, and that's the interesting story. But secondly, if we talk about Manchester United, they're on number 2, and being on number 2 and not being able to catch up would probably be one of the most frustrating things for any country, because if Manchester United even struggles to get there, which any country would, but they will never be able to get to the point where Manchester City is. Not to forget that Chelsea has been having a good time after Thomas Tuchel actually came in, because of the fact that they ensured themselves that, we should finally start scoring. But yet again, they have had so many losses before. If we actually look at the points charts, things are pretty much down for not only Manchester United, but obviously for Chelsea as well. But even though they've started winning now, and yes, as we are talking about how Chelsea actually came up to a point now that even if they start winning, they've come back with Thomas Tuchel, but they still can't make it up to that point of Manchester City, like you said.
Well, the thing about Chelsea is Chelsea lost a lot with Frank Lampard being their manager. They've changed the manager. It's working for them. Their new signings, Werner and Havertz, have now started scoring goals. They're gelling well together. I personally see if there's any team which can actually challenge for the title this season, it would be Chelsea. But there's only 14 games to go.
Right.
And I think Chelsea will be very happy if they finish top 4, because there was a time they were 9th, 10th in the table.
Azad, how do we see Liverpool making a comeback? Because Liverpool has been acting or playing very, very short of their game. Not only them, if we talk about, if we talk about Arsenal as well, how do you see these teams not being their best?
I mean, Liverpool and Arsenal are miles apart. Liverpool is a fantastic team at the moment.
Right.
The problem that they have had is that they've had 3 central defenders. All 3 are injured and out for a very long term.
Right.
When you don't have defenders, it's very hard to win football matches.
Right.
And that's where Liverpool has been going bad for Liverpool. The second thing was that Jurgen Klopp's mother was very unwell, and she eventually, unfortunately, died weeks ago. Right. And obviously, when the manager is dealing with such a massive personal situation, it's hard to concentrate on football.
Right.
As far as Arsenal is concerned, Arsenal is a football club which is going absolutely nowhere. They've got a very young manager who seems clueless. He's got a good squad, but he doesn't know how to get the best out of that squad. Right. So I just don't see any hope. Being an Arsenal fan, it pains me to say that, but I just don't see any hope for Arsenal this season or even next season, unless they go get themselves a decent manager somewhere. Right. And then they might be able to progress next season. But at the moment, Arsenal is totally hopeless. Liverpool can still make enough of a comeback to finish above Everton and the Leicester and the other teams to get into top 4. But it's looking increasingly unlikely as the time is progressing.
Right. Anyways, I hope that something happens, because like you discussed with regards to the defense, and we just got disconnected, and I was exactly saying the same thing that you said, that even though Liverpool has the solid front line, but their defense was literally weak. Besides the fact they have an amazing goalkeeper, but they need to work on their defense line. If they end up being on the top 3 or top 4, how do you see that happening anytime soon?
I mean, and they might be able to. They're a fantastic team, Liverpool. I mean, it's like full of generational talents. But their goalkeeper has been making a lot of mistakes this season. Their defense is all over the place. Right. The main defenders are not playing. They did not invest in the January transfer window. Right. The manager is having personal problems. It's unlikely for them to finish above Leicester and Chelsea, but it's something that you can see happening. As far as Arsenal is concerned, they're not going to be anywhere near top 6 this season.
Right. Interesting. Okay, the last take that I want, a quick take, which I would definitely, let's talk about Champions League. I just want to talk about this one match where Barcelona and PSG. How do you see that Mbappe's hat-trick? How do you see it affecting Barca's performance?
I think Kylian Mbappe starts playing the best football of his lifetime when he's playing against Lionel Messi. If you remember the World Cup, he did the same in France-Argentina game.
Right.
Lionel Messi is at the end of his career, and Kylian Mbappe is the next major footballing talent which is emerging. Right. Barcelona is a team that cannot play under a manager like Ronald Koeman. And all I can see is that Barcelona will be kicked out of Champions League. They will not win the La Liga because Atleti Madrid will win that. Right. And I think Lionel Messi is going to leave Barcelona at the end of next season. Right. And we're pretty sure that he's going to be joining Manchester City to make them an even better team.
Interesting. That's a very interesting news that you've actually shared, that Lionel Messi probably intends to switch over to Manchester City. If he does, I'm sure it would be a big blow for Barcelona.
It'll be a lot of fun for people like me who live in Manchester. We can see him every week then.
Awesome. Anyways, thank you, Dr. Asad, for being with us on the show and giving us all the insight with regards to not only Premier League, but obviously the Champions League as well. Thank you so very much. That was Dr. Asad discussing all the facts and figures of how the standings are with regards to the English Premier League. I hope all goes well. But anyways, as soon as we get back from the break, we'll surely talk about more sports. So see you guys after the break. Welcome back from the break. Yes, we are still discussing a lot of events that are actually happening. Not to forget, in the headlines, we've talked about the 2021 Genesis Invitational, which is surely one of the amazing event that's actually happening with regards to golf. And not to forget that it's hosted by Tiger Woods, and not to forget that world number one, Dustin Johnson, will surely be leading the squad for the tournament. And the event starts from February 18th, will last up to the 21st. And to discuss this, we have a guest with us who is ranked number one amateur golfer of Pakistan. He's a gold medalist, amateur of Pakistan Open 2020. He's represented Pakistan in several international golf events, including countries like Portugal, Thailand, and China. He's a managing director of Loco Services, which is an event management company with regards to sports. Mr. Umar Kokar, how are you?
I'm good.
Thank you for being on the show, Umar. And we would like to discuss more golf perspectives, the journey that you want to share, because obviously with your resume, obviously it shows, and we need to emphasize more on the fact that, you know, golf is now, it's changing its shape internationally, locally. So how do you see you as, you know, an amateur golfer in Pakistan, and how far have you come to be where you are right now?
Well, thank you so much, first of all, for inviting me over here and, you know, talking about golf. Obviously, I'm the ranked number one amateur golfer of Pakistan right now. So definitely it's a tough journey, it's a process.
Right.
And, you know, it's more important for me to focus on the process and not on the results.
Right.
So due to COVID conditions, I've been not able to travel abroad and represent Pakistan recently.
Right.
But definitely I'm looking forward, things are going to get better.
Right.
And I'll definitely get a chance to play again on international events.
Right,
and perform
right.
well.
So let's go to the Genesis Invitational, obviously hosted by Tiger Woods. Of course, he's not playing because he's been unwell due to his back injury. So how do you see this shaping up for the all the golfers? Obviously, world number one, Dustin Johnson, is there. So it's going to be an interesting play. But not to forget that we've discussed this before as well, that the Masters is also going to come after this. So we can start off. How do you see this current event lined up?
Well, yeah, definitely. You know, in the last week at the AT&T Pebble Beach, there was not even a single golfer from the top 10.
Right.
But in this week, there are like 7 players from the top 10, those who are playing, because they're just kind of getting ready to get into the rhythm for next 6-7 weeks, because as you know, the Masters is coming.
Right.
And definitely that's like one of the biggest tournament. Every professional golfer just dream about winning that tournament. So definitely Tiger Woods is not there, and we're not sure if he'll be able to play the Masters, but
Right.
we hope he'll be back soon.
So with regards to golf itself, how many usual, we would like to know more about how many usual events are there internationally? Like, for instance, we talk about tennis, it's Wimbledon. If we talk about cricket, it's World Cup, it's T20, it's ODI, it's Test Series. So what kind of events do golfers go through? What is the journey of these associations to bring up, like the Masters you're talking about? So how does this all shape up for golfers? How
Well,
many?
actually, there are 4 major golf tournaments that happen around the year.
Right,
But every week there's a tournament on PGA Tour,
Right.
which is happening over there.
right,
So, you know, it's mostly golf is happening all around the world, but the top golfers have the chance to pick and choose their own tournaments. So, you know, they play 2 or 3 tournaments in a row, then maybe they get a break or something like this.
right.
So that's how it is.
And how much did this COVID-19 situation, as you discussed that you were unable to travel, which events were you intending on going to for obviously to represent the country? So what exactly were you looking at with regards to, as a golfer, what were you looking
Well,
at?
actually, all the team events that were supposed to happen in Asia and Southeast Asia and even in Europe, they were all postponed
Right.
last year, and we're still uncertain
Right.
when the new dates are going to be announced. But the professional tour, especially the PG Tour and European Tour, were resumed. And now gradually in USA at the PG Tour, they're letting the audience come in as well,
Right.
because, you know, that adds a lot to the players and
Absolutely.
their everything else.
Right, it's like the motivation, driving factor for sure.
Exactly.
All right. With regards to the Genesis event itself, it's in Riviera Country Club.
Yeah,
right. So the prize money is like 9.3 million. Golf is surely considered to be one of the highest paid, what do you call, sport, or maybe an activity. And obviously, with regards to that, how many PGA Tour professionals, how many golfers are going to be attending this specific
At the
event?
Genesis
Yeah.
Invitational, there are going to be around 120 golfers. Those
Right.
who are going to attend this. So at this event.
So
yeah.
who exactly are you looking at? Are we looking at the last year's champion, Adam Scott, to play his cards, or is it going to be the world number one? How do you-
Well, that depends. Actually, Dustin Johnson is back in the game, and he's teeing off at the PG Tour this week, as I told you, and he won at the Saudi Arabia at the European Tour just a few weeks ago.
Yeah, right.
So I think he's one of the best picks, and if if you would ask me, I would really pick up Bryson DeChambeau because he hits really long off the tee. And a lot of people do not understand that he's really good with his scrambling and short game and putting.
Right.
You know, so if he keep hitting the ball straight, I think there are big chances that they might be winning by Sunday.
That's an interesting DeChambeau. We talked about DeChambeau. Obviously, he's ranked number 10. But with regards to him, ensuring that he reaches those distances, and we were discussing that USGA and RNA actually came up with the idea of maybe controlling the technology and stuff. Right?
Yeah, actually, they're thinking about coming up with something. Definitely, it's going to take time, like 2-3 years, to come up with something. But ever since DeChambeau transformed his physical body,
Right.
He started it too long, and the golf courses have become shorter for him.
Right.
So if he is hitting straight,
Right.
I'm like, he's winning. And last year, he won one of the major championship as well.
Right.
That was something that really got highlighted and everything else. So they're trying to come up with something with the new technology, clubs and golf balls. They're getting really friendly in a way that everybody can hit along with them.
Right.
So yeah, that's one of the thing.
So what you're saying is the technology is evolving with time with regards to obviously the wood that you're using to swing and the precision in the balls because with time new technology is coming in. So they're trying to control that so that it's not as easy for any golfer to.
Well, actually, to be honest, they're trying to control it for the professionals. So they just really want the amateur golfer, the beginners, to keep hitting long.
Right.
Because just like cricket, if you hit a 6, everybody wants to hit a 6.
Right.
So, in golf, if you're driving the ball long, that's the best feeling. That's like the best feeling. But, ever since, definitely technology has played an important role. But as we know, Tiger Woods is one of the first athlete in sports and in golf who kind of transformed it.
Right.
And, he started running 6 miles in a day.
Right.
And, he physically transformed himself. So now every golfer on the PGA Tour have a fitness trainer, have a nutritionist.
Nice.
They have people, like expert people, helping them how to improve their physical body, how to improve their mental state and everything else.
Right.
So now, obviously, the game has grown a lot and it's growing hugely everywhere around the world.
So whenever someone talks about golf, from my perspective, obviously, I remember always people would associate golf to, somewhat maybe the elders play it and not the youngsters play it, that kind of story. But like you said, that fitness is now more in because if you're fit, then you can obviously hit like DeChambeau, if I'm not wrong, right?
Yeah. Totally. That is something, and I think that was how golf used to be. But now, if you look at the world ranking, if you look at the world top 50 ranking, most of the guys are under 30 age. So, obviously, it's kind of a physical chess game. You really need a strong mindset. You need a lot of strategy and patience and, perspective and everything else. But now you need to be physically strong because...
Absolutely. I think fitness surely has brought the golfers to a situation and conclusion. Obviously, like you said, Tiger was literally running like 6 miles a day and keeping himself fit. So that means that taboo or that image of, youngsters should be encouraged to go and play.
And anybody who has played golf or tried golf, by the time they try it and they're like, oh my God, that's not easy.
Right, definitely.
It hurts my back.
I agree. All right. So tell me something. Which was the best tournament that you have had played as a golfer yourself?
Well, actually, my best highlight would be winning the gold medal at the Pakistan Open, in which I was competing against the top professionals of Pakistan. And at one time, after the third round, I was leading the Pakistan Open. That was a tournament in which I got a chance to play with the best professional golfers of Pakistan, especially Pakistan #1 Shabir Iqbal and the upcoming professional golfer Ahmed Beg. Just to play with them, compete with them, just kind of made me realize I'm almost there. I can get it done. I just need more hard work and practice.
So you basically have that driving passion to evolve and ask people to play more golf because most of the people in Pakistan, it's still not really a sport that everybody's into. Everybody's more into cricket. That's like a fact, right?
Yeah.
But what is the government otherwise doing, or maybe the associations doing, to make golf more accessible to youngsters?
Well, actually, now a lot of new golf courses are being built in Pakistan, and ever since all the real estate giant companies are coming up with a golf course in the society. Because obviously playing golf is kind of a family sport. It's a very safe environment. When you go out there, you're in the nature. There's nothing man-made. Everything is natural. So gradually, a lot of new golf courses have been developing in Pakistan. Few international golf courses as well. So gradually it's picking up the pace, and a lot of people are even realizing that it's not that expensive.
Right.
You know, all you need is just to get a membership. Then all you have to do is afford a golf clubs.
Right.
Then you go out there and play.
So, as soon as more golf courses come, I'm sure that would be an accessibility perspective for all those who want to play golf, if I'm not wrong.
Definitely, definitely.
Anyways, that was pretty interesting with regards to the golf journey. And you know, last thing that I would definitely ask you with regards to golf is the past champion Adam Scott. How do you see him? Because he's ranked number 23 because of this event, the same event that he went through. Will he be more easier to understand the golf course because the environment? Will he have that edge over the rest?
Definitely. I mean, like, he would have that edge, but he's been not playing that great for past few years.
Right.
Last year, this was the only tournament that he won.
Right.
So Adam Scott is one of the senior guy out there, and you never know if he put himself in the mix of the leaderboard on Saturday and Sunday. He cannot go out there and win any time because he's very mentally strong.
Right. Interesting. Anyways, thank you very much for giving us the updates and the highlights with regards to the golf side. And we'll definitely, once this event finishes, we'll surely ask you to come back again, and maybe we can have more discussion with regards to the event itself. And thank you once again. And now I'll switch over to the rest of the news. All right, so that was basically Omar discussing the world of golf, and it's been an interesting journey with regard to learning how people are enthusiastically working on the betterment of the golf in the country. Anyways, we'll talk more about the Australian Open now. Yes, not to forget a major upset with regards to Osaka actually ended up winning against Serena Williams. It's a major upset because everybody was expecting Serena Williams' straight victory, but unfortunately, she won't be equaling a 24th Grand Slam win. But it's been a tough journey for her because obviously, with age, with time passing by, things are technically going to be hard for her to continue that. And not to forget another upset that actually happened was Stefano Tsitsipas actually managed to win against Rafael Nadal. Yes, that's a major turn of events. And not to forget that, I was just looking at the scores, and the first two matches that actually started, and the first two sets were actually won by Nadal, but eventually the rest of the three were the toughest ones in which, he actually had to lose this tournament. Anyways, I'll quickly jump over to the NBA side of the world. And yes, James Harden actually scores 38 as Nets overcome a huge victory against the Suns. Not to forget that, he made this record-breaking short-time entry in which he scored 38. And not to forget that the scores was 128 to 124. Anyways, he's definitely been backfired with regards to, because the last time that he scored was 21, and I think he actually wanted to come and prove his worth as James Harden. So that's an interesting journey with regards to NBA. So this was pretty much all with regards to sports from Sports Inside. If you want to reach us, you can reach us on our social media handles, which is @Indus News Sports, both on Twitter and Instagram. Till then, take good care of yourself, and bye-bye.